Zest is in, where resilience begins, not fixing the cracks, letting the light in.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Zest is Zen with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that'll take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today, I am super excited to welcome my guest, Krystle McGilvery. I'm so
you got this.
bad. Sorry, darling.
You've got this.
McGilvery. I don't know what just happened there. Anyway, back in the room. She is a money and behavioural specialist. So I wonder what she thinks about my behaviour then. A speaker and a chartered accountant who is transforming the way we think about money, confidence and success through her powerful blend of behavioural science, real world, get my words out today, financial insight. She challenges the idea that we are the problem, showing instead that many struggles are actually system design issues. I'm sure we'll dive deeper into that. Her work invites us into a calmer, more empowering way of living and working. But what happens when we stop trying to fix ourselves and start redesigning the world we operate in? If you feel called, I invite you to share a little love by helping amplify my incredible guests today's voice, as well as all my many other guests, by subscribing. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it allows this powerful episode and the wisdom shared here today to reach many more hearts and minds. So thank you, and may this episode bring you the clarity, calm confidence, and a sense of grounded empowerment that you may not know you are seeking. Welcome, Krystle.
Hello, thank you for that intro. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. And before we dive in, it's just ironic that we were just literally talking about how Zest is Zen was born in the style, and I was basically talking about how I think I set myself up because I actually use the term, I sometimes throw myself under the bus, not literally, but clearly in the intro today, I was living the example of what I said prior to starting. So anyway.
I think it's fine. I'm with you. I think be who we are, real, raw. That's how you connect with people, right?
Absolutely. And that's the thing, if it causes a bit of joy, a bit of laughter, then that's what we want in our day, don't we?
Yeah.
So
agree.
Beautiful. So I think there was something that was mentioned in the intro that I think is definitely a powerful starter, which is what you love to challenge. And I'm sure there's much more that you challenge as well, because where's the growth if we're always just submissive to everything happening around us?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Feel free, whichever part you would like to begin with, and then I will just listen and be curious, and we can expand from there.
Yeah, for sure. So I imagine you are talking about the idea that we are the problem. I mean, my initial focus with my background, behavioural finance, behavioural change, accountancy, personal finance, it's the idea that, we think about people who are struggling with their finances, whether they are struggling with money management, so maybe overspending when they shouldn't be on, you put money aside for savings to buy a property and using that day to day instead. Or I've spoken to many financial advisors, because I'm not an advisor, regulated advisor, but I've spoken to many who have struggled with some of their clients where they might have a meeting, it's a process, right? It takes a few weeks to get things done, and they'll send their client paperwork, financial paperwork to look at, and the client disappears and just doesn't reply. And it looks like that person is, flaky, not serious, all the negative words. But actually, that whole financial process, if we just focus on that, is so laborious, it's complicated, it's technical jargon. It's not, so my focus effectively is the system, especially in the world of money, is not made for us beautiful humans in the way that we come. There's no tailoring, there's no accommodation. I also talk a lot about neurodiversity and how our brains work differently. I am also neurodivergent. And, if we just narrow and stay focused on money, for example, apps, banks, they don't have training to support different people. The systems aren't working for us. So there, just back to your initial kind of intro, it's me challenging the notion that the human is a problem. No, they're not. The system is the problem because it's not made to tailor and support them.
Wow, you explain that so beautifully, and if I may just share like an example of something that happened to me recently, which I think actually really highlights, like it's a really trivial thing, but actually again, it's a system that then delays and makes the person be like, well, how many more weeks? And what it was is again, 2 banks, so you would think that banks, there would be some sort of alignment as well. So if I just express, so for example, Lloyd, you can on the day get the statement, send it. Okay, so someone asks for your bank statements, send it. Whereas I won't say the name of the other one because obviously it doesn't sound as good, but the other bank, you have to wait for the full month to be completed, and then once they've decided to do it, they will send it. So essentially you have an abundance of accounts, but actually then they're not on the same system, they're not working and navigating the same way. So what could be done in a day, for my case, I know it depends what the issue or the situation is, has to now, this was mid-month, so one I could submit, and then they said, right, we'll start it, but you're going to have to send everything again. And then what's going to happen is when I send that one's out of date now. So so it's like,
it's so annoying. It's so annoying. I mean, a similar point to that is, if you think about banking apps, I know we all work differently. Some of us have 9 to 5s and we're paid on the last working day of the month. Some of us are paid twice a month. Some of us are paid on the 17th. But a lot of banking apps don't allow you to, use their management system if you're not paid. Like, come on now, people.
So I'm already loving this conversation. Like, how relevant right now. And if anyone's listening, take note.
Take note.
And then, this is us talking about the UK. There's like another level in other countries, and so no, I really, really hear that, and you can imagine, particularly from a human perspective of, it's like you just shut down before you've even started.
Absolutely, because something like the app situation, if that's going to make you managing your monthly finances, which it does, such a nightmare, you're either going to make lots of mistakes, miss payments, not have money in the right account, be overdrawn, and that in itself creates, stress and overwhelm. Like I said, if I think about neurodivergent clients, that just sends you on a spiral, even if you're not neurodivergent. If you make financial mistakes and now you're struggling financially, maybe you've got to borrow from someone or borrow genuinely and paying interest, it's so easy for that to become a spiral. So I'm like really clearly passionate about, we need to fix the systems, the products, the services that are available so we can win, and
absolutely. And this is the thing is, what I found in not just banking, but all different careers, paths, all different perspectives, is often, it's the ones that are in the system, learning the system, that often aren't the ones that are able to step outside of it because they're in it. Whereas it's like not power to the people, but it is, because essentially, if you haven't got someone that's happy or satisfied with the service they're receiving, well, the service isn't going to last that much longer. So I love what you're doing, you're creating, your passion. I can feel you're really passionate about it. So with that in mind, because we definitely solution focused, can you take us back just a little bit? Like, how did this all come about? Because there's and this is what I'm really loving, which I'm hearing from you, because I think particularly not just say but British, there's a tendency to talk and moan, not everyone, and not really do anything about it. Whereas I feel you've identified something, you've seen there's definitely a space for growth, and you're taking action. And I think And I think that's how our world changes. So yeah, I would just love to know, like, anything you feel relevant to share with the viewers, or just to give an insight, because I think more than just this episode and talking about all the greatness you're creating, when we know someone's background and what inspired them, what gave them that fuel, that passion, it can ignite through your story something someone else is really thinking and is passionate about.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah, okay, thank you for the question. So I mean, I did the whole finance journey. I was good at maths at school. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be an artist, actually. But my mother encouraged me to do maths or science. So I did. And I went on to be an accountant just because I didn't know any better. I just was like, okay, this is what you do when you study maths. And quite quickly, I became the go-to person in my family, my local community, to support them with their finances. Naturally, that makes sense. Quite early in my career, I kind of questioned why I didn't have certain things and whether I could. So I came from a single parent home, we grew up in social housing. I didn't have much. So going out into the workplace as an accountant, you're obviously surrounded by money. You're in important rooms having conversations about big money that you've never been exposed to. And quite quickly I was looking at people and I was like, well, what makes me different to them? And especially when I heard how audacious and straightforward and, well, yeah, I'm going to do this, they approach these decisions, I started to question, well, why couldn't I? And that's where I started to really double down on, buy my first property when I was 28 on a 25k salary, or, the first to buy a brand new car when all my friends did. I really started to do some good stuff early. And it was when I bought my first property, as you can imagine, I'm spending all the money on the deposit. I've got some left over to do other things, but it's quite limited, right? I had a family member ask to borrow £3,000 when I just literally signed the dotted line for this new place. So I was a bit like, timing's not great. I had to rewire the whole property, which was 3k. I had to buy a new boiler unexpectedly. That's 6k out of my pocket immediately. So to lend 3k was a bit like, they agreed to pay it back within a month. So I was like, okay, go on, fine. A month came and went and I didn't get the money back. And months went by. And as you can imagine, with such a tight position that I was in, I got a bit frustrated and I started to not be very nice. And I had to stop myself and be like, Krystle, pause, because this person, they're not intentionally trying to be rude, disrespectful, all those things that you're feeling. And that's where I started to double down a bit to understand people's behavior with money. That's where it started. This was a very close family member. So I started to read more about money and psychology. Read some great books, and it was basically that sent me on this journey to go, and I did a course at Liverpool University in neurofinance, so the brain and financial decisions. I then decided I wanted to pursue this and start my own business. So I quit that, traveled for a year and a half on my own to collect my thoughts and plan. I did a master's in behavioural science, basically this decision making, and basically got all the knowledge and understanding I needed in this new area, which actually has only been around for about 12 years, this whole behavioural economic space. And that's brought me to where I am today, where I am focused on the human side of money. And then interestingly, whilst I was doing my master's, which was 1 year at Warwick, it was great, but very compressed whilst I was doing my business, I was diagnosed as being dyslexic and ADHD. So that all came in, and I remember sharing that publicly. And obviously with my focus on money, it really resonated with a lot of people. And I actually realized that a lot of my clients, because I work with people one-on-one doing money coaching as well as training groups with corporates and stuff, but a lot of my one-on-one clients were like, yeah, I'm neurodivergent. And actually about 70% of my clientele were. And I quite quickly realized that I'm attracting neurodivergent individuals because of how I talk about money and the way I approach it. But and not only the technical side of how I approach it, but also there's a lot of finance professionals that are really quite harsh when it comes to money. And there's a lot of shame, why are you not doing this, or why are you doing this? It's like, whoa, soften up. So I think my approach, which is completely opposite, it's where are you right now? There's nothing wrong with where you are. You just have come from a certain environment, a money story. And I really create a safe space for them to feel comfortable to try and do better.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of the journey that I've been on to get here.
Amazing. Wow. And that's the thing, how can we essentially really pull out the truth when someone doesn't even feel like, it feels already like someone's on the defense for them, So powerful, really powerful. Wow. Thank you for sharing all that.
That's okay.
And I don't know the full statistics about it, but I heard recently as well, particularly for females, with ADHD, that it actually happens later in life as well. And often it's not so in your face and you're more quiet. And so how what's happening in the brain and what's functioning, often, again, there's never any conversations about it, because compared to the typical naughty boy, which isn't a naughty boy in the class, it's like, oh well, she does what she's supposed to do, she's good at maths, she's well behaved, she has little moments sometimes, but I know we've gone off on one, but I just feel like maybe someone listening right now, sometimes these things plant a seed and help them to realize more about their own brain and not shame yourself. And as someone who has a lot of needs in my family, and again, a lot of us didn't even know that existed. It was naughty, or same. I mean, I'm from a Caribbean household, and it's very common for African and Caribbean families to not be very well versed on these type of things, or reject them. And I understand the stigma, the shame around it. So and I prior to me kind of launching my business and becoming out there, I exist on LinkedIn, I exist on Instagram and stuff. Before that, absolutely not. The thought of doing any of that was just absolute death to me. But especially when I started to exist online and I saw the reception of people really resonating with, that's like me, I could explore this, I was like, you know what, I have to do this. It's not even about me. Amazing.
It's helping others. So,
and you just said something so powerful that was a big realization for me. I never planned anything like this, absolutely not. But I remember someone said, and it really does have to be said in that way of, it's not about you. And then you're like, I didn't even think about that. You're making it all about you, and it's nothing to do with you, actually. And if you have had that insight, you've got that gem, and you're not sharing it, well, actually, that's actually, and I think they even said that's a very selfish thing to do. And I just thought, oh my gosh, but it works, it works.
It's true. It's true. I mean, my version that I use to this day, when I started this journey, I was the typical accountant that hid behind Excel. I didn't speak up in meetings. I was afraid of my own voice, all of the things, right? Yeah. Typical accountant. But actually, when I got my first speaking gig and I started to go down that journey, the way that I overcame and was able to speak was seeing myself as a vessel. I have this information to share. It doesn't matter how I look. It doesn't matter how I speak. It's not about me.
Absolutely.
I have to get this out of me for people that it resonates and helps. So
absolutely. And Krystle, I know you said earlier about you originally I think you said you wanted to be an actress or an artist or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting, and there's a reason why I'm highlighting this, because I remember I did art at A level, and anyone ever compliment it, anyone say, I would have this typical British, repulse, back away the compliment. And the moment I saw myself again as a vessel, because often I would dream what I created. And again, I feel like there's a reason why I'm mentioning this, because the moment we take it from being us, even before this, I'm very intentional about about what the outcome is for each of my episodes. It's not about me, it's about something much greater than me. And people will relate to that, people won't relate to that, but sometimes in sharing this, it can just give a different perspective.
Yes.
I think it's really powerful, so thank you so much for sharing that. And I think that really shows again, more than, you know, just the labels of what we do and who we are. It really shows the heart behind everything you're creating. So I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been amazing speaking with you, and yeah, I know there's lots of greatness that you are creating, and of course, like, I really want to make sure that if there's anything else you really feel like the listeners right now would really benefit from hearing, I'd love you to just share it. And again, I would just really listen and be curious about what you share. But I think there's so many layers to you and so much depth to us all, and I love it. I love it because you can come on with the intention that this is going to be the conversation, pre-plan it, but you can't, you know, like, we'd never know that all of this would have came up. So.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I was on a panel the other day at Albright event, and there was one thing I said at the end. They asked, you know, each of you on stage, 4 of us, what's one lasting thing you want to leave the audience? And something I said seemed to have really resonated, such that loads of people were sharing it afterwards, and it was, I think it was like 800 people in the audience. I basically said, if you don't like the behavior, change the condition. And my reason for that is, we assume that the problem is you. And actually it's trying to highlight that, you know, even our physical environment has an impact on what we do and how we show up, you know, whether we feel safe and comfortable, whether we've got the right, you know, reminders. You know, I've got like this empty packet here, so I can order a new pack online of my little multivitamins.
Yeah, to remind yourself we're all different.
Absolutely. It's whatever.
I'm like that, so visual.
Right? And I still do it now. If I have something I need to have, I'll put it on the floor by the front door so I don't forget it. But it's all about, right? Like, I encourage people to step away from shame and actually realize that everything about you is off the back of conditioning and experience, and, you know, the spaces, the habits that have been embedded within you, and they can be changed. It's just about identifying, oh, well, that's encouraging me doing this. So if I want to do this instead, what can I undo? And you'll be surprised as to how much your life can change if you approach it like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And even that example you just shared, not judging others, because and I know he used to say it from a place of love, but I remember one of my exes used to always say, wow, I can see what you've done today, because I can basically see what I've done. Like, I was like, and I always used to think, like, is he calling me messy? Is he calling me this?
Yeah.
But the way our brains all work differently, like, for example, what you just said, you put something, say, by the door, that is something that really empowers and supports you and reminds you, whereas someone else could see that as, you know, why is this? And I think this is why it's so important to learn so much more about the brain and how we are all so unique and so different. And that's why, going back to what we were talking about to start with, okay, we can't just now change the systems today, but equally, that's why we really need to start thinking about systems, strategies, algorithms, blah, 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 because we're not robots.
Yeah, we're not.
And we can get to, you know, wherever we're going, but why does it have to be one route? Why can't we have multiple routes? And I think we are getting better at it. But yeah, and it's thanks to incredible women like you that aren't just seeing something, having a comment about it, you know, and then just leaving it. You're on that stage. You're putting yourself in those uncomfortable situations, which I'm sure, you know, you're becoming a little bit more, because often again it's our mind is the one that creates this situation, which is so not true. But again, you had to be the one to physically move yourself and put yourself in that space in order to make change. So I love it. Thank you, really thank you, Krystle.
Thank you.
And I feel like you kind of shared, but equally, one thing that I always love to do at the end of Zest to Zen is just say, In this moment right now, if someone was listening, what would you tell them that you believe would inspire change or uplift them, something you feel like they would really need to hear in this moment?
I mean, I guess if we're focusing on money, it is, you can change your financial situation no matter how much of a dark hole you feel you're in, no matter how much you feel like you're not good at money, which I don't believe that statement at all. It's just purely you've learned certain habits, routines, and that's just what you do. Your brain is used to those connections, and we just need to create new connections. It's just to encourage you that that's true. And I say that from someone who is a money coach and works with people on a one-on-one basis, and I've seen amazing transformations, especially with creatives. And notoriously we have this narrative that creatives are no good at money. It's not true. Everyone can make a change, from me being afraid of speaking, you and your finances. Absolutely,
and I think you just perfectly summarized and kind of conclude what I was going to say anyway, of more than the role, which is absolutely a money coach and so many more layers to you. Really feel the heart of this woman that's on this podcast right now, right in front of you, Krystle, and know that yes, there'll be things that you learn, there'll be connections that you make, there'll be choices that you take, but equally, when you feel safe and your nervous system is safe, that's when transformation really happens.
Absolutely.
And that's what I feel with you, Krystle. So all your details will be in the description so everyone can reach out to you. And may you continue to change many more hearts, minds, and bring us more money. We need to stop this shame around money. Money is an incredible tool, especially for transformation, for making changes in the world and making things happen. Get that money, get that in your mind really beautifully, and get it into the right hands so that we can continue to keep uplifting and changing this beautiful world. Thank you, Krystle.
I agree. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's the magic that Zest is in.